Hey guys, and welcome to the vlog. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I know I am. In this week's episode, I want to touch on a few things regarding pythons because I own a fair few pythons myself, and I thought I'd touch on a few little subjects that a lot of people ask when they're first owning a pet python. So let's get started, shall we? Let's go. Now, when owning your first pet python, the first thing you want to do is do a lot of research, and depending on which python you're looking at getting, the more research the better, as some are quite hard to care for than others. So in saying that, the best option is to go to your local pet store or ask a breeder like myself or somebody else that you're looking to buy off, and just go through all the normal questions, which I will be covering in this video as we go along. So as you may know, we use tubs in a rack system for us, as it seems to be more cost effective for us with electricity, and also we can heat all of our tubs at the same time without having to worry about too many heat globes. And all it is running under one thermostat as well, which it controls all of the tubs in their temperature to make sure that they are at that 31 degree hot spot and that 27 degree cold spot and below. And as you can see here, we have our two Woma babies, with the one that still isn't really eating by itself yet, so we had to do an assist feed the other night. That is still on paper toweling with obviously a little water dish there, some ventilation holes, and we just use a system of tub just to keep them all nice and secure. You can offer hides, but I find that, you know, it's up to the individual python. They all eat very well, besides that one of course, but that's just due to being freshly hatched, and sometimes Womas and black-headed pythons can be troubled feeders. So with certain breeds of pythons like this, Antaresia maculosa or spotted python, they are quite small in regards to most of the pythons that we do own, which is a good and a bad thing, because you can have these guys housed in enclosures and in tubs, and you also have some great racks and tub systems available from I think it's Snake Racks in Australia, and they do provide larger tubs for the larger pythons. But for these guys will most likely be in tubs or maybe even display enclosures, depending on which way we go this year. But the black-headed pythons and the Womas, as well as the carpets that we own, they will be going into enclosures this year, as they are getting quite big for their tubs. So we only really use them for a grow out tub to get them up to size until they're up to that breeding size. And then sometimes, like the Womas last year, they bred in tubs, but obviously the more space the better, and you can make it look more natural and more realistic towards their own environment, which is also fantastic as a display enclosure. So another thing I wanted to touch on is handling your pythons. Now, you don't want to handle them too often, as it can stress the python out, but you do want to be able to hold them enough to be able to, especially when they're hatchlings like this little Woma here. The more that we handle them, the better it's going to be for the next owner, because if they're not used to being handled, a lot of people are reluctant to buy pythons that bite. But of course, it is part and parcel with owning a reptile. You just obviously have to read your python. But it is such a great thing to be able to hold these awesome creatures, and you know, if you get a bite, it's normally a love bite. And one of the questions that I do get asked frequently, and I see get asked frequently, is, does a snake bite hurt? Now, I don't really like to be bitten by anything, to be honest, but it comes down to the fact that it's more of a shock value, and for most of my pythons here, they are very food orientated, so it can be quite difficult if they do latch on, hold, and then, you know, it is quite painful. I've seen many videos of food bites, and actually my brother got a food bite from an olive back when we first started out. So it's one of those things that, you know, you get shocked when you get bitten. It does hurt a little bit. There's a lot of blood due to their saliva, but other than that, you know, it's part and parcel with owning a reptile that does really only eat, sleep, and poo. So it's one of those things, if you get it happen to you, then it's over and done with, and you just learn to read your reptiles. And if they're in a food mode, don't touch them, just give them a bit of food and they'll be fine. And as long as they're well fed, they're not going to go to bite you as much as you would like. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on is feeding. Now, feeding these guys, they can actually eat up to 3 times their own size. So this guy's a little bit feisty right now because this is actually Rose, and they're pretty close to being due to feed, which I might just do that tonight. But as you've seen in the other vlogs that I've done, especially with feeding, these guys will feed on large prey items, but what I do here is I feed them a little bit smaller and a little bit more frequently, so that gives them that extra size and they get ready for that breeding season. So this girl here should be ready by this season. If not, I will rest her and wait until the next season. But it always is great feeding these pythons because it's amazing how they can get so wide in the mouth, open up and go over that prey item. So it's one of the best things to be able to watch. It is a bit sadistic, but it is fantastic at the same time. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. I hope that was a bit better, more of an educational vlog this time. I want to try and do a few educational vlogs as well as doing my normal adventures and everything like that. So in saying that, I hope you do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know in the comments how you thought the educational vlog went, and I hope you enjoy the start of your week, and I will see you on Thursday.